Real common problem. It's called an EVAP Purge valve, and this is what it looks like on this model. It's the same thing. Basically, you have intake on one port, and then the other port, it goes to the vapor side of the charcoal canister, where the excess vapor flows through to a canister. It captures it in there, and the engine sucks it in through vacuum and burns it through the intake manifold. Okay, so the vapors are not just going to the atmosphere. So on this vehicle, this is really easy to get to. It's right here. Like I said, it's an EVAP Purge canister valve. They call them purge valve, canister valve. Several different names for them. But like I said, it's an emission parts. And it's a pretty easy test. So it's all it takes is power ground to operate this, and they use it as a frequency. When I mean it's on for a certain percentage. So it's really ever on 100% where the valve's open all the way. So when the valve's closed, like now, you can't blow through it. It's closed. There's no vacuum getting through, so the fumes from the gas tank cannot be entered into the intake. What happens is, over time, that valve will move back and forth, and the fumes, the vapors, it's dirty. You know, gasoline is not very clean. It gets carbon buildup in there, okay? And that buildup of carbon will stick that valve. And there's a spring in there. It's supposed to, when you turn this on, the spring gets pushed back. The electromagnetic forces of the energizer of the solenoid pushes the spring back. And when you turn off solenoid, that spring forces the valve shut again, okay? So it's constantly doing that. Well, over time, it gets built up a debris in there from the vapors, and that spring gets kind of dirty, and that valve gets dirty, so that spring can never shut the valve, so it's stuck open. When it sticks open, there's vacuum all the time going through this chamber here, which is constantly pulling the vapors out of the charcoal canister. So when you refuel, all that flood of fumes is going through the tank, up to the vent, to the charcoal canister where it houses the fumes, and it follows that line and it ends up right here. Well, since this valve is stuck open, it's rushing into the intake manifold. So it's flooding the intake with fuel.